you're in the course, that is if you're interested with us. It's going to prepare your resume. It's going to take your mock interviews. Also what we offer your interview help. When you're going through the online interview, our instructor is going to be beside you and help you through the interview process. So further, we're going to start off with the session. Let's hear from our instructor. Thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you guys for showing up. I'm also broadcasting this on Zoom. So I'm hopeful that you can see it. This is our agenda for the day. I'm going to talk about the course detail and the enrollment process that we have here. Then I'm going to go and talk about the job prospectus. Whatever I'm talking is wrapped up into a Udemy course, 2-hour Udemy course with the same slides. So you can take that course and learn more about how to start your career in data science. Yeah, if anybody has any question, let me know before we keep going. So to start with, what do we have here? The thing that separates us from the other data camps and the bootcamp is our batch size. All of our classes are here in person live with the instructors. The remote option is there, but it's up to you. We make sure that you are here and you are with the instructors and talking to the instructors, and they are there to help you all the time. So it's completely in person. There are several bootcamps that have moved a lot of classes remotely. I don't like that. I want my instructor to be with you all the time. I'll be with you all the time for whatever you want to talk or do. We also have a personalized grading where I'm going to sit through your exam and your scores and deal everything with you. So it's very personalized. It's a small batch. And the online class is completely optional. I don't like that. It's only under special circumstances if you are traveling. Okay, we have everybody here. Most of us are working as data scientists in some or the other startup. So we are bringing whatever we are learning with the startup or the companies to you and explaining to you how to use the new things that are evolving. As I told you, a lot of jobs, and this is through my presentation, a lot of jobs are being taken away by machines. In the future, all the jobs of drivers and cashiers and marketing and everything is going to be taken up by machine learning and artificial intelligence. The revolution is happening. If you don't catch the bus right now, maybe you would feel that you missed something. Like some people miss the bus on Bitcoins. They never bought Bitcoins at the right time, although they should have exited at the right time as well. But you don't want to miss the bus. So this is the content of my presentation. For any information about the course enrollment, for information about the payment, you have to talk to Sajid. So Sajid takes care of that. I'll quickly talk about the enrollment process that we have here. So we have a 4-session prep course, which is free. You deposit your initial amount, a small token amount, then you take the prep course. If you don't want to take the course, you get your money back. If we think that you're not prepared for the course at this moment, then you get the money back. Only if you take the course, we adjust that with the tuition. So, hey, how are you? So the selection process is where you take Python 101 and Machine Learning 101, 2 courses. These are like 3 to 4 hour courses. Then go through an interview process and an exam. And based on your score and your preparedness, we are going to help you take your career change. So that's our enrollment process. For the enrollment process, and I'm going to show you, I have courses on Udemy, Python 101 and Machine Learning 101 and SQL 101. You are expected to complete those 3 courses on Udemy, attend the classes, and then go through an interview and a written exam, a hands-on exam, where you have to code something and write something during that interview and an in-person exam. So that's why. And after that exam, we move on to the interview process. So that those 4 exams are free. You can take them. You'll get your money back if you decide not to go ahead. But I want to make sure that I work and we work with the people who are prepared to take this course. Because there is a big demand for the course. If I invest a lot of time in you, even if you forget the money, I want you to get the best job. Because whoever comes here, I want you to be getting the best job here. I'm not interested so much in any other thing. I'm sorry about that. So that's my selection process. More information is with Sajid. I think everybody would have Sajid's card. You can pick it from there if you don't have it. He's like, your earlier background does not matter. Whatever you have been doing. We have been working with people who are dropouts, who are driving cab, who never did any programming or math. So programming is a state of mind. A lot of things that you have to do is think like a programmer and think like a data scientist. A lot of things is already available on Google. So I focus on how to help you understand the process and make you prepared so that you can go to Google and search the answer. You can talk to somebody who wants to help you and understand what he's talking about. You don't need to memorize anything. You don't need to have a super analytical mind, but you need to have a mindset where you know how to communicate with people, how to search things online, how to read something and understand it and use it. Because somebody might think that you need to know a lot of coding or you need to know a lot of memorization. It's not like that. You need to have an idea and you need to know how to read it and how to make sense of it, how to talk with people. If you call me one day from your work and ask me, hey, I'm having this problem, and I tell you a solution for that, you should be able to understand my solution. I don't expect you to memorize or know everything because this field is changing, and the course that I'm trying to build is very new. A lot of courses that other bootcamps are building and universities are building are very new. All the theory and all the methods and the way in which it is implemented is very new. So these are the courses that are part of the prep course. The first is to understand the career and everything in data science. It's a 2-hour course. So you can learn about all the different tracks. It talks about what you have to learn and different tracks. Like there is a specialization for big data. There is a specialization for deep learning. There's a specialization for Python for automation. So you have to decide where you would fit in and how your resume would look like, which I also talk about in the course. Then there is Data Science 101, which is how data science works. This is more about how to start with unstructured data or how to start with data, clean the data, make the models and make it work and then implement it on a website. So that's like the whole process. Then once you decide that you want to be in data science, then you need to know a little bit of Python. Python is the go-to language to do anything. It's a language which is used for big data. It's a language which is used for machine learning. It's a language that can be used for web processing or website. It's a language that can be used for natural language processing. It's a website that could be used to automate things in Excel and SQL. It's a language that could do anything. So if you want to learn one language to do anything that you can ever think of, that would be your office work in Excel, that would be your work in SQL, that would be analytics, machine learning, big data, whatever you can think of, you can do it in Python. So Python is the most important language for us in data science. So we focus on Python 101, and then we have a SQL 101 course, which is like SQL and Excel, just to understand. The SQL 101 and Excel 101 is people who want to jump from analytics or finance, so they can link it up. So these are the free courses. My 4-day prep course, which is like 12-hour prep course, Saturday, Sunday is based on these courses. So I expect you to go through these courses and then talk about these settings online. Hello, how are you? Good. So now I'll jump to the main part here, which is career and jobs in data science. If you have any questions, let me know. You can stop me anytime if you have any questions. So why data science is becoming more important right now? Anybody want to give a shot? Anybody want to share what he or she knows about data science? Yes? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's cool. And what is this data? Is it structured, unstructured, semi-structured?
Depends on the source. Sometimes you need to structure, but if it's not, it's good.
Yes, yes. So when we start with the data, it could be semi-structured, it could be structured, it could be unstructured, and it's our responsibility. The difference between a database admin and a data science person is that the data science decides what kind of data he needs. So when you go to a company, they'll show you that this is the data you have. As a data scientist, you should know what else they need, what are the other unstructured data that they have, what are the new data they can capture. Because at the end of the day, they're going to come to you and say that whatever you are predicting is not working, or your models are not working, or your math is wrong, this or that. So your job starts with data. How to handle structured data, which is through SQL, semi-structured or NoSQL data, which is through MongoDB or other NoSQL databases, or unstructured data, which could be log file, which could be news article, or which could be anything. So you decide how to pull up different kind of data to use inside your models. In this course, and I'm going to take only small time to introduce my course. It's on Udemy. It's a 2-hour course where I go much more deeper inside that, where I talk about the vocabulary, the salaries, the roles. In a data science role right now, people are jumping from data analysis. These are the people who are doing business intelligence and SQL. There are people who are coming exclusively from big data to manage your big data. And there are people who are coming from stat background. The way in which they're using data science as a term, and there is a unanimity of thought, is that a person who can connect everything from start till end. So you start with the data, the analytics part. Analytics is not predictive. And if you talk about predictive analytics, it does not use machine learning. So you start with analytics and raw data. You decide which models you're going to use. You decide how you're going to get the data from the big data sources. And then you decide which algorithms you're going to use. But your end goal is to get the company what they want. If they're looking to find a solution for a particular problem, if Math Matters organization wants to find out why people are leaving or how to get more people, they'll give you a problem statement. They won't tell you what data you have. You have to talk to them and say, hey, what kind of data you have right now? What kind of structured data do you have right now? If you want external data and you want to buy it, then you have to link it up. You have to get the APIs and link that data and create a data warehouse that you want to use for your machine learning. So your job starts with a business question. It does not start with a question like, can you arrange my data? Or can you pull the data? Or can you organize the data? Your job starts from the very beginning. I'm going to seek for volunteers for my instructor. Anybody wants to talk about what is data science? Hannah? It's up to you if you want to jump in late. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'll continue.
Okay. So, Ruby, how would you explain somebody who is jumping into this field? And you have my side.
So it's basically just to continue with what he said. Like, so if like in your phone, everywhere you go, like everywhere, like data is being saved. Like you are here, you're like the data is getting saved, like through your GPS that you're here. So like we all have like data coming and it's getting saved, like in your phone or somewhere. So like there's all this data, and we need people to like find a way to like get information from this data. So like that's why there are like so many data, and it keeps increasing like exponentially. And there's a lot of demand for people who are good at like dealing with these types of data. And that's from that term like data science comes. So it's basically working with data, and you work with data, like you use all this data and to solve problems or to like come up with a solution like based on the needs of a company. And I don't know, this one, right? Okay, so it's basically a combination of multiple areas. Like, so you need to have like some sort of like math and some sort of like programming skills, and also like a little bit of big data also. So it's pretty like this graph shows. It's a combination of multiple like things that you kind of like. It's good to have like all this, like have experience with all this like knowledge. This one, right?
Yeah. And Hannah helps us with the big data part here. And of course, data science as a general, but everybody has their own specialty or niche. So Rumi is going to help us with more of the stat part. She's going to help us with more of the big data part. And I'm going to help you with more of your Python part. Hannah, do you want to?
Yeah. So data science, it is combination of multiple things. Like big data. What is big data? We are getting a large amount of data. Okay. Next thing, data communication. Data communication, what is data communication? Data communication means if two people are communicating, two machines are communicating. Okay. If multiple machines are communicating, that is contributing to big data. So you understood what is data communication and how you're getting big data. Now you got the big data, but you want to understand that data. That's why you're using Hadoop. Now Hadoop also you're using, you ingest the data, you're understanding the data, but you want to analyze it. So for that, we are needing statistical tools, mathematical tools, so you'll get understanding of the data, whether like say if I'm having a table, so in that information is given, customer information is given, payment information is given, order information is given. But how these tables are connected, interconnected to each other, for that we need languages, and that language will be SQL or Python. Okay. So now you got the language, now you understood the data. Now after, for understanding the data, that is data analysis part. So if you are having data, in that you have to check if that column is having all the values, it is having empty values. If empty values, then it is known as missing value. Or if any value is an outlier, how you will deal that data discrepancies. So if you will deal with that, that part is complete. But now you want to know what is the output. Okay, so you are analyzing the data to get more profits, to help your company grow more. So this data what you are collecting is your experience. So like we get our from our elders, from our grandparents and all. So what our ancestors give us, they give us experience. Why? Because they lived a long time than us. But when it comes to data, if you are having with 1 year of data, you get little bit experience. But when you keep collecting that data, so you can make more inferences, you can get more insightfulness. So combination of all this becomes a data science. So big data is there, machine learning is there, deep learning is there, and that whole combination makes it data science. Thank you.
Thank you. So the idea is when you go to a company, they expect you to start with a business problem and get them the solution. They are not interested in what data source you want, how you are storing the data, and most of the time they have no data. And you have to talk with them and say, hey, you're not storing this data, this interim data that you can capture from your website, who visited your website or who was moving your mouse where or whatever, who is attending your offices or your competitor companies, you're not storing this data. So first you have to decide on a data policy. There's a very nice article, why data scientists quit their job, which talks about why you go there as a data scientist and you say that these guys, I thought that I'm going to do something fancy and these guys don't have a data policy in place, which means that they have no data. And I have to start with scratch, which I don't want to. So I have to fight with just SQL guys, no SQL guys, unstructured data, save the logs on Hadoop, and I'm not using any math that I learn, machine learning that I learn. I learn neural networks, I learn fancy math, and at the end of the time, they don't have even data to run that. So a data science guy connects from the starting to the end. That's why they're using this term, and it's becoming a very fancy term. Okay. Now, these are some of the questions that people generally ask to come in this course. How much stat? Yeah.
Question. Because till now, data science is not very clear to me. Because, you know, if someone has a business, traditionally what the people they did, like they have a business like a store. So they are selling product, they have customers. Sometimes they right now they cannot know who out their money or things like that. And they come to know they need application to handle to support the business. So they can call somebody to make an app, and from then they can know almost everything about their business. And apart from that, now everyone has a smartphone. Everyone is moving. So maybe the you know how to call them, like T-Mobile, they know for any time most of their customers how they are moving, things like that. I think this part is different from like you have a store. But all is about data. But for me, it's not clear. It's not clear yet to me what is exactly data science.
Yes.
Basically, you're talking about the organization as secondary data, which is historical data on business, in reference to primary data, which you're now collecting, which is recent. in all aspects when the business do surveys, I'm going to break it down into layman's terms here. When you do a survey or feasibility of the business, you say, well, my business is operating on this much money a year, this much clientele. You take that from historical data. However, moving forward through the brainstorming, surveying, and other means of collecting data, you know, that's really going to know how the business operates. However, with data science, right, it ties everything together. It ties the marketing, it ties the analytics, and other aspects of your business together. So it's like you have a spreadsheet. You ever work on a spreadsheet? Okay. Say for instance you have a spreadsheet with a million and one information, it's all rubbish, you know? And then there's a tool inside the spreadsheet called a pivot table, right? Which is like a macro part of data science. And you go to your pivot table and say, let's create a pivot table. And you say, okay, I want to see how many shoes we sell this week in the business in comparison to last week. And you can set a pivot table to do that. However, with data science, it has opened the door to more sophisticated way of doing things, to using the Python language, because you can write the code to say, okay, every quarter I need this happen, or every annual I need this happen, and then it gives you that information. So understand from a business owner's perspective, they're not that savvy with the data part of things, so it becomes confusing for you, right? But with learning data science, businesses develop a comparative advantage. Or your business has a comparative advantage.
I would say that if you own a shop and you come to me and you hire me as a data scientist and you tell me, hey, I want to double my sales in 12 months. That's your goal. And you say me nothing else. Then what would I ask you as a data scientist? And you just told me, where are you selling right now? Who is buying your stuff? What are the amounts? What are the geographical location? What is the age range? And after I have everything, I'm going to try to get external data about your competition. After I have everything, I'm going to find out why people are buying your product. What is the profile? Maybe people belonging to a particular geographical location are coming to you. Maybe people belonging to a particular product is coming to you. Maybe people belonging to a particular age is coming to you. Can I classify them into groups so that I can target more on that? If you are putting ads around the city, but people are coming from just one location, is it worthwhile to put ads in all the cities? No. If you are targeting all the age groups, but your business has seen that only people from a particular age group or gender are coming to you, how are you going to make your marketing plan? How are you going to make all the plans? Can I predict and classify all these groups, all these revenue sources into something that can help you? But before that, I have to get the data from you. So I'll ask you, what kind of data do you have for me? Are you currently storing this kind of a data? Then you will give me different kind of data. Sometimes you'll say, I have some data in Excel. I have some data on my website, which is SQL, which is structured data. I have some log files, so people attending my my shop based on the credit card company or something, that there is just name and the time of person who attended, and that's it. Can you use this data to my advantage? I can find out, if you give me log file, I can find out which are the time when people attended your shop more. So I have to start with all your data, structure it, and the data is divided into structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, link everything up, and at the end of the day, I want to give you a strategy to double your sales. Which math models I use? Do I use classification, regression, nearest k neighbor, random forest? You don't care about that right now. You want to double your sales. You have to start with the data, select a model, give you the right prediction, and predict and classify your whole business problem and give you a strategy. Then do this, and based on my model, this is going to double your sales. Where should we advertise? What
Does it mean I have to collect before the date from
Yes.
my customers to know their age, their gender?
Yes. Or if you don't want to do that, as a data science guy, I'm going to install a machine there that's going to use image recognition and find out their age whoever comes to you. So I'm going to say you, hey, let's buy this app from AWS. Let's install this camera. It's going to just store information about age and gender, whoever comes into your shop. And these apps are not expensive right now. So somebody should have that kind of a mindset that these kind of machine learning products exist in the market. So I'm going to put that, automatically collect the data, store it on your website, and then use that data to collect. Yeah.
And another thing that he also does in that makeup from a business standpoint is that even though he puts that, When you swipe your credit card, it does a demographic survey. You understand? When you have your credit card, what information get used on the credit card? Your address. So it tells the demographic of the person. It tells the academic level of the individual. It speaks volume about you as a person or as a customer. Therefore, that helps you with your feasibility report of your business. To tell you how feasible your business is going to be. You understand? So, with all that being said, those are some of the major advantages of organizations moving into big data, moving with data science. Because data science is taking away the independence away from managers and giving them a tool to expedite processes much easier and efficiently in business. In essence, lean in the process. So when you lean the process, it makes the business run more efficiently and more profitable for the business owner and the client as well.
Most of the clients that are hiring data science are big companies. So the small shops would hire data scientists or people to install the application of machine learning. For example, if you are a shop, in the future, if the jobs of cashiers are taken away and Walmart is selling an automated robot that is a cashier, how would you fix it up, set it up, use that thing? And to install this, Walmart needs data scientists. So because they want to capture all the data and make use of it. Because the virtual cashier or the robot has to take the image, find out, talk to you in the nice way. So they need people who know natural language processing. They need people who know image recognition and all those stuff. So these big companies want people for natural language processing, for image recognition, for collecting the data, for storing the data, to create an infrastructure where they collect a lot of information about all the shops where they have installed this device. So Amazon is like on a hiring spree. They are moving to New York City. Google is moving to close by because they want people. Suddenly, if you want to sell cashier, if you want to sell drivers, because Uber drivers or any drivers are going to be replaced by self-driving cars. Whoever wins that battle can sell drivers. It's going to disrupt the insurance industry because how are you going to do insurance of self-driving cars? So therefore, at this time, data is the oil. Everybody wants data. Data is everything, and people who can understand this data and help them to implement all these new things. These people are high in demand. It's going to revolutionize and change everything. A lot of jobs are going to go away due to automation or due to data science or due to robots or due to all the machine learning and artificial intelligence. If we move back ahead in time 20 years, cashiers, doctors, instructors, a lot of things are going to be taken away by machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we are trying to explore that, and I have a lot of articles in my slide. But before that, the question is who can learn and who can jump into this field? What kind of math or stat you require? So I told you there are two aspects to how I break down things. One is what you know, but the other thing is to keep an open mind and try to understand things in a way which is called technical communication. You should be able to communicate and understand. If you don't know any math, that's not a problem. But you should have the urge, you should have the passion to learn maths that is required. You need only specific kind of math in data science. And I have different specialization. If you don't like math, I can drift you towards my big data specialization, where you don't need that much of math. If you are more into math, then you can move into more of deep learning, which is more mathematical. If you don't know math and if you don't know coding, and so you can go into automation kind of stuff or analytics kind of stuff. There are different branches that you can specialize in data science. And I'll show you some job description as well. So math and stat, it's not required that much. If you know it, it helps, but I don't care. I want to develop a state of mind where I throw you into a new algorithm and you can think about it. Even if you don't understand that algorithm 100%, you have people who do that, the statistician, but nobody can link everything and create the whole chain, the whole product or the whole solution. So you don't need to understand that 100%, but good enough to implement it for now. If we need any advice on those models, we have people who are expert in those model and math. But implementing the same model in Python and understanding its business relevance and understanding what kind of data you need to run that model, that's your job. And going deeper into the math is not your job. But finding out the data, how to find out the data, capture the data, talk to the company to get the data, run the algorithm, implement it on Python, connect the front end, and answer a business question. That's your focus. So you don't need a lot of math. There are different machine learning algorithms that we look into. The math is hard, but some of them are very easy. And to back this line, there is a model called logistic regression. Anybody heard about logistic regression? It's just one model that is used in 60 to 70% of data science jobs. So it's not that hard. The companies don't want a complex model because they will get muddled up and confused with the mathematical complexity. So if you go with them with two models and you say, hey, I made this very complex model, it's 90% accurate. But this is a very simple model. It's 80% accurate. Which one do you want? The companies would say, I want the 80% accurate model because it's simpler and I can understand the math. Even if your model is more accurate and I don't understand the math, I'm not comfortable with that. So there are several machine learning algorithms. Companies would not use them, but you should know them if they are using it. So you have to decide whether you're going to use neural network or just a logistic regression for that problem.
Also, I just want to add something. Like everyone gets scared about math, and it's really not that scary. Like you don't really need to know a lot of math. It's more like I want to use an analogy of a car. Everyone knows pretty much how to drive a car, right? Like you don't know what's inside the car, how everything fits together, right? So if you know how to drive the car, you're good. So it's like all the models are like that. So everything is in like one package. So you just have to upload one package and everything, it's called scikit-learn, and you do everything from there. So it's pretty simple. Like pretty much all the models, they are like similar to run. Like it's too simple, but it's just like what if we're trying to the message that I'm trying to send. You just have to know how to put things or what's the analogies, but you don't have to know all the math. Even I don't know. Even nobody knows all the math. It's too dark in there. But yeah.
Yeah, and people confuse data science engineer with machine learning engineer. If you say machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer, these guys go more into math. A data science guy starts with data and gives you the business results. So data. And I'm going to show you, if you search machine learning engineer, the requirement is different, and if you search data science, the requirement is different. So those are two different aspects. Yeah, if you want to jump in.
Yes. Hello, my name is Arthur Beckford. I've been associated with this group for a while now. My background, I work with the Department of Defense on major projects throughout the Far East and Europe. Work with a lot of big data. Basically, the data science, by you coming here learning this year, it's gonna, everybody's a business owner. Raise your hand. Work for someone? What are you doing on a daily basis, sir?
I do work more like accounting, finance.
Accounting, finance.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
What do you do, sir?
Yeah, just moving into somewhere else, so interesting data to convert the data into BI.
I do work.
Huh?
I do work.
Okay.
Accounting.
Accounting. Huh?
Computer scientist, but system and network.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my
We missed
academic
one.
background.
What about you? Oh. Oh, okay.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you a little bit. My first degree was in math and computer science. Alrighty. With data science, especially on the accounting side, let's talk to the accountants first because I have to be specific to my audience. On the accounting side, data science is very important to what you do. I know the time you spend crunching numbers, because I know you do a lot of numbers and formulas that you have to work out, and you do it in the Excel spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, big data, take away the Excel spreadsheets altogether. It takes it away. It manipulates the data for you. With the right programmer on board, it manipulates the data. It boosts the total quality management process of your organization, i.e., in turns, give you continuous improvement. That's what it does for you in your arena.
Yeah.
It's very important that accountants get a grip for data science, especially big data, because if you deal with multi-billion-dollar corporations, they want the information now, they don't want it later, they want it yesterday. Because when your boss comes to you, he's always coming to you in a rush, right? And then it takes you 2-3 hours to get that the information together, right?
Yeah.
Because then you sit there in Excel and you're typing in these formulas, right? The big data, from a programming standpoint, and that's where the programmers come in, the computer programmers, there's a Python side to it, or other languages. And this has allowed you or given you the leverage, because this is edifying you as a professional. Because keep in mind, if someone comes in knowing Python and could code it for big data, you're out of a job, right? Right, computer guy?
Yeah.
Counted from an analytics standpoint, if someone comes in with big data, you're out of a job, because it's going to take you 2 hours to work on an Excel spreadsheet, where the big data guy takes 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. People come to work for efficiency and productivity, because at the end of the day, business is all about what? A profit. They cut fat, they streamlining, and they lean processes. So it would be in your best interest to go into data science, because data science is the way of the future. This is, okay. And even with data science, like he had elaborated before, and he expanded that, you don't need mathematics. Because keep in mind, everything is already there for you. All you need to do is analyze the information, because that goes back to your programmer from Python. He's going to program in all the algorithms you need. Instead of setting up a pivot table, right? With Python, just go like this, click of a button. You're there.
Python can email the pivot table, publish it on a website using Django. So it's going to be streamlined. It's going to go to a website, download the CSV, create the pivot table, put it on Django. You don't have to do anything. The guy who used to download the CSV and put it into Excel and use the pivot table is out of the job now, because somebody wrote a Python code to download the file, CSV file from a web server, and then wrangle it into Python pandas, create that image and publish it into a Flask website or a Django website. And suddenly it's going to take away people who are just doing laborious tasks of just copy pasting.
And it also takes the redundancy out of the process, like he said. Redundancy is recreating. Every time you're recreating something, 2 hours becomes 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I've seen it in my work area on a day-to-day basis, because I manage contracts and assets and so on. So we see it on a day-to-day basis. So by doing big data, not only are you improving your process at your job, but you're making yourself marketable, and you're becoming an asset to your organization instead of a liability within the next 2 to 3 years. Because when you see the Department of Defense move to big data, don't believe that Wall Street isn't moving to big data. And everybody, the thing about it, they have limited amount of people in big data right now. If you check most universities, and you check the major that most young folks are going into, they're going into data analysis. A lot of kids are going into data analysis. So you'll be the next old guy on the block without a job. Because you have this young kid, he graduates from George Mason University or Georgetown, and he comes in and he says, I'm qualified for data scientist. I'm a qualified data scientist. You know what I'm talking about. I'm a qualified data scientist, and he comes in and he gets your job. But you're here now, you have the opportunity to pick this stuff up along with your institutional knowledge that you already possess within your organization. Makes you an asset. So this service that we're provided is not only beneficial for you, but to your organization. And keep in mind, it's a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket, because you'll be learning, what you learn is going to be exponential, going to pay off exponentially moving forward. And like they say, the math base of the program or this analysis program is very limited because it's basic math, basic algebra, and applied mathematics.
And a lot of math is like how to do sampling, how to find out if the model is good or bad. So it's not about the math of the model. It's about how to use the model. Those are two different stuff. One is using the car and one is understanding how the car works. Even if you don't understand the car works, you should be able to use the car for now for your company. So when you go there and say, hey, I know machine learning, but I know all the models and how to use them, how to compare them, how to come out with the best model. If one model is giving better result, I can explain to you why. If one model is giving bad result, I can explain to you why. Are you asking the right questions to the model? Is it a classification or a regression model? Which thing could you use? Is this a yes-no question? Or is this a question where I should get a quantitative reply in terms of a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So all of these things are different from the math of the model. This is about which model to use, what is the problem, how to ask the right question to the model, which is different from how the model works in very explicit detail. Somebody did his whole life to build that math, but we want to understand how to use that and make our data ready. And data wrangling and you can sit. Data wrangling and cleaning is like most of the hardest part because companies have data and it's all messy. They cannot use it unless they clean it and put it to use. So you don't require a lot of math. We teach you what is required. We expect you to do simple stuff, very simple stuff, which I assume that you are from an 8th or a 10th grade. I don't assume that you know a lot of stuff. I start with very basics and keep things very simple. You don't need to know programming. Python is called alchemistry by programmers because they don't even want to make Python as a programming language if it were up to them because it's opening doors to all the non-programmers to become a programmer. So Python is the language to go. It's extremely simple. The syntax is very easy and anybody can learn it quickly. And that's why it's one of the most important language. And it's very fast. It's much more faster than R or VBA or SAS or any other MATLAB or any other competing language. And it's open source. SAS would lose the battle or MATLAB would lose the battle because you have to pay for that. Companies don't want to pay for that. And the other part is even if you pay for that, something does not work, you don't have the source code. So you can not go behind and see why it's not working. If I'm using Python library to connect to Hadoop big data and something stops working, I can go and I would find a lot of answers online because the source code is open. But if I'm using MATLAB or SAS, nobody can help me but the company. I don't want to get stuck and I want to see the whole source code of how that thing is built up. If the source code is there, there would be hundreds of people who would go to the source code and search for the solution and put it there on the website. So Python is open source, which gives it an advantage over MATLAB or SAS or VBA or any Microsoft-based product. So Python is the language and it's very quick to learn. This is what I have been talking about. R, Python, Scala. Scala is also open source language, mostly used for big data. R used to be used for statistics. Like MATLAB, it was an open source alternative, but with R, you cannot make websites. It's not a general purpose programming language. R is a statistical programming language. Python is a general purpose programming language. Python could be used to build a website. R could be used to build a website, but it's through packages, not natively through R. So Python can be a supplement for JavaScript in various aspects of website building, but R cannot take that because R is a statistical programming language. Now there is one more role that you see a lot often, that's data engineering. These guys prepare the data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data, and create warehouses or all the things on the space where you have the data. But these guys don't do math. They don't run mathematical models. Their job is to pull the data and put it online for you to use it. That's more of data engineering. If you add math to data engineering and the business problem to solve, then it becomes a data science job. So data engineering right now is DB administration, data storage, Hadoop, Edge-based, Hive, Spark, all these kind of stuff. Streaming data, how to store streaming data, how to make sure that the latency is low and all those kind of stuff. That's data engineering or big data. There are few roles that you see often, which is published on Indeed or Job. One is data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Have you seen these kind of roles? Anybody would like to give a shot on what is the difference between all three of them? Yes.
Machine learning is basically just algorithms that's based on data. AI is more automation of those more machine learning algorithms automating like self-driving cars and you know, facial recognition and sounds and stuff. And data science is like it's a broader field of, you know, like a data scientist can use a machine learning algorithm if it's going to give him the insight he's looking for, but not necessarily focus on just machine learning. Now, machine learning is a much deeper field. AI and machine learning kind of they're two in the same. AI just more is applied machine learning. Machine learning is more the specific algorithm.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's the answer. And if you were to go deeper, I have saved the links of articles on Forbes and Economist, which talks about the difference. But data science is end to end. You start with bad data, sometimes no data, and you solve a business problem. Artificial intelligence is more about automating or a zoomed out of machine learning engineer, and machine learning is very specific to specific algorithm, and most of the time machine learning is for neural networks, which is neural networks, deep learning, TensorFlow, and Keras. So that is more of a machine learning. And what is the difference between data science, data analytics, and business intelligence? Somebody want to give a shot on this one?
Data analysis, I feel like, is more of you know, just the first step of the data science is really just bringing the data, whether it be to whatever source, and kind of framing the data in the way you want, and kind of presenting, visualizing, and things like that. Business intelligence, I feel like, is the second half, is more getting insight from the data, like whether it be products or whatever the case is. Data science it can't be the whole thing. Data science is the whole thing. Those are kind of small subsets.
Yeah, so that's how I would put it. Data analyst guys use mostly SQL and create cubes and answer questions that are retrospective about the past. How many sales were made this year? They can do a little bit of predictive analytics, but that's not their job. What should I do to make more sales the next year? That's not a question which a data analyst would answer. But he would answer which country, which demographics, which state had the most sales, or which places sales increased, which places sales decreased, and all the graphics and visualization. So it's one part that is a stepping stone. In other words, this definition is a bit vague, but there is a unanimity. And in this slide, if you go down, I have pasted the link here. So I'm going to share you this slide just after the class on the Slack channel. So data science possesses a combination of, and I'm reading it from here, analytics, machine learning, data mining, and statistical skill, in addition to algorithm and coding. And when they're asking too much, they don't want you to be deep in too much. They want you to get the things going. If you can find out the data and run a logistic regression and predict something, they're also happy with that. So it's like everything. Now, there are different languages. Which one of them is the most unheard of out of all this? R, SAS, Python, MATLAB, SQL, Pig? Pig?
Most.
So Pig is a language to query big data Hadoop. It's similar to SQL, but it's for big data, because in big data, the data is stored as flat files. It's not running as a server, like SQL Server. So Pig is a language, and Hive is a language to store structured data on Hadoop. So many companies had data on SQL, but the data is increasing very fast, so they cannot use SQL because SQL has its own limitation. So you want to move that data into a cluster of like 40 computers or a cluster of 100 computers to make it faster and streamed. And Spark is an in-memory database that has machine learning, which could use the cluster infrastructure to learn machine learning algorithm. And in Spark, there is a module called PySpark, which is how to use Python to interact with Spark. So if you know Python, you can talk PySpark. Hive is like SQL. SQL is the other thing. So SQL and Python lets you cover the entire spectrum that you have in all these programming languages. This is another way of separating data analytics and data science. One is more descriptive and the other is more prescriptive. One is what we know and the other is what we want to know. So I'm skipping this. This is an interesting part. Right now, companies are getting big amount of unstructured data, and they have that lying on the Hadoop cluster or the big data infrastructure, and they don't know what to do with that data. Earlier, they used to just dump it there, but now there are people who can query that data, clean that data, and make some useful insight from that. Because all the things that are moving online or tech-based, they're getting a lot of data. Like if you have heard about Internet of Things, they're collecting data from houses. They're collecting your heartbeat or whatever you want to share with them and what to do with that data. So a lot of unstructured data is coming and companies don't know what to do that. A part of this unstructured data, a big part is stored on Hadoop. And then a very small part of this data is semi-structured in NoSQL or in other formats. So most of it is unstructured and just flat files. And they need people who can clean that data, wrangle that data, and answer some business questions. So this is about unstructured data. This is another definition, and I have put the link here. But this is one other way in which somebody would define the data scientist role is to handle unstructured data and get meaningful insight. And unstructured data is going up very quickly. Okay, this is a slide about machine learning, which is a part of it. Rumi, do you want to talk about a little bit about supervised and unsupervised?
Okay, so yeah, so this slide basically like it shows a chart of like two types of like machine learning. So one is supervised, as you can see, and the other one is unsupervised. So like the way it works is basically in supervised machine learning model, you are given some data or and the solution with it. So you have data and solution, and based on the solution and the data, and you based on those two, you fit your model, and then you train your model the way data scientist says it. So you train your model, and after that you like use some other data on that model. So basically you have your data, and then you have your results to train your algorithm. Once you train it, then you use unused data, like unused data on that model to get outcome. That's supervised. And unsupervised is when you don't have the result. You just like, let's say you have some data, you don't know where it's going or how to like use it. Then you put that in the algorithm. So the algorithm like defines it like uses like clusters to like spread out like different groups. That way like you say like, oh, this is this group, and based on that group you like come up with you have like variables on that group. Basically it's defined by basically the algorithm does it for you in the unsupervised learning.
I'm going to take just 30 seconds from you. So I'm going to ask two questions from you to help you understand this. If people attend this session and join my course, so I'll have information about who attended, ethnicity, age, education, and whether you joined or not. Now, if another person comes here, I can predict based on my past, because I have people who attended, this guy joined, this guy did not join, this guy joined, this guy did not join. And I can feed it inside and say that, hey, people coming from a particular ethnicity, age group, education, join my course, because based on historical, I can predict that. So that is supervised learning, because I know people who joined. The other way is, I have people who joined already, and I want computer to make a cluster out of that, which means that I'm not telling the algorithm how to cluster them or what are the group of these people, but I'm letting the computer decide. So computer will decide and say that this is one cluster of people, and you have like 2 or 3 clusters. These are the group of people who are coming from finance, who are of this age group, and this is one more cluster. I never told whether you should take the age group, whether you should take the ethnicity, what factors you take. I never tell the computer. I never tell divide it into 2 groups or 3 groups. I just tell, this is my data. Can you give me clusters? Can you give me clusters of people who are attending my session? So in one place, I'm giving you the why, which is joined and not joined, and the data to predict whether somebody is going to join this course. In other way, I'm just giving you the people who joined it, and I let you decide how to group it, how to create clusters out of that. There is no y-axis. There is nothing that I want you to predict based on past outcomes. So one is supervised and one is unsupervised. You want to continue? Anything that you want to talk on this slide?
there is something else.
Okay, so then we have two things, classification and yeah.
What is the difference between machine learning and data mining?
Data mining, as the word suggests, is just to mine the data. And data mining is how to mine data from different sources, how to join them, how to create a warehouse, which could be then used for business intelligence. So data mining is to mine the data. Data is here in different places. You have to mine it, clean it, pull it, get the gold, and mine the gold and put it at one place so that anybody could use it. That's data mining.
Once you do data mining, then you can use machine
Yes,
learning.
once you have the gold, then you can use that gold to make more gold. So machine learning is running math, neural networks, deep learning models. The same way as our brain works, neurons, making neuron models and layers of everything just to mimic our brain to predict some outcome. So that's machine learning. In supervised learning, we have two learnings. One is classification and one is regression. And as a data scientist, you have to decide what kind of a problem it is. If somebody comes here and join my course, is it a classification problem or a regression problem? If it has just two flags, joining and not joining, then it's a classification. But if I want to find very specific information about them, like age of people who are joining my course, or something that's going to be a continuous variable, then it's a regression. So if I want to find out the average salary of people who will take my course and pass, then that's a regression problem. But if it's only yes, no flag, and most of the problems, like for example, if you are doing a model, whether you want to find out if you tweak this factor in your sales strategy, is your sales going to go up or down? Or you can ask the same question, how much is your sales going to go up if you tweak this factor? Now you have to train your model based on how are you posing that question. So if I change this thing, if I increase my price by 25%, is it going to increase my revenue by 30% or 25%? How much is it going to increase? Give me a number. If I change my price 25% higher. So that's a regression problem. But I can use and change the same problem into a classification. If I increase my course price by 25%, is the sales going to increase or not? A yes or a no? I run a regression model. I did everything and I found very low accuracy, like 20%, 30%, 40%. Then I might switch that into a classification problem. And I get a 90% accuracy. That if I increase my 20%, say if increase my price by 25%, by 90% accuracy, my sales is going to go down. So it's me who decide which algorithm am I going to use. So that is a part of data science person to convert all the questions of the company into the right way so that we can ask computer the right question and use the right model. Then there are a lot of models that we use. Decision tree, which is the name suggests, make trees and find out. Random forest is another way of decision tree, logistic regression, and we learn all of this and when to use them. The second last part is the neural network, which is what a deep learning person would do. So one of the instructor only specializes in neural network. His focus is not on any other, but only focused on neural network. And why neural network? Because it mimics human brain. It mimics human neurons. So they are betting that that model is going to give them the best results. So this is a library in Python to do that. It's available easily if you search scikit-learn to convert all of your problem into a regression, classification, clustering, or dimension reduction. What is dimension reduction? What do you think the name suggests?
What damage?
Dimension reduction?
Oh, dimension. Oh, okay. Oh.
So if you have got many features to predict something, you don't want all of them. Some of them are not necessary. So if I want to predict who's going to join my course, I would say that the distance that somebody traveled is not necessary. Because I'll have like hundreds of factors. The distance that you travel to come here, your age, ethnicity, current job role, or all kind of information. How much time did you spend in the seminar? How much did you score in my exam? What was the time that you watched my video on Udemy? If I have all of this data and the factors come out to be like 250 or 300, I don't want to use all of them. I want to use only 10 of them. Which 10 of them should I use to predict your success in my course? So that's dimension reduction. All these slides I have put down the reference, but the idea is that machines are going to do a lot of our job. And as the gentleman rightly told, artificial intelligence is a broader concept to make machines smart so that they can do our work. and machine learning is more about neural network. So, and it says that automation could eliminate a lot of jobs and depress the wage growth. A lot of automation right now, especially in finance and accounting, is happening to Python. So a lot of financial jobs are going to be hit first rather than instructor job or any other job in the market. And there are many articles. I've collected a lot of articles, and all these are last 6 months. So there are a lot of jobs listed and a big talent gap right now. They are saying that around 364 jobs would be listed. The source is just below this slide, but it's mostly Forbes, and these are only 6 months old. This is about data science skill gap. These are different roles that exist and different sectors that are going to hit the most. So professional services are the first one to take data science because these guys, the slowest people to get data science are healthcare and retail people. They are taking time, but they're going to be hit in a big way once the automation and robotics are going to, and image recognition and voice recognition and NLP. Earlier, we used to need people who used to pick our call and talk with us. Now it's all the bot. They say, hey, who are you calling? What do you want to talk about? And the bots try to hear us, make a prediction and guide us of what we must be looking for. And in healthcare, it's very slow, the way in which changes happen. But in healthcare, a lot of prescription things are going online, and they want to make sure that all of the health data gets scanned in, and they want a lot of things, basic stuff to get automated. But the fastest adaptation happens in professional services and financial sector. So if I were to say, if you are on the retail side, you're going to be hit the last, but if you're in professional and finance and insurance side, then you're going to be hit first by a lot of automation and machine learning. And the manufacturing is like the third group that are going to be hit. If anybody has anything to say, let me know, I can stop. This section is about the supply and demand. In the last slide, I just showed you that there would be 2.72 million. In fact, a lot of my students who are on the market, whom I want to place, they get like 200 to 300 calls every day, and they have to reply an email every 3 minutes because there is such a big demand for jobs. Maybe these jobs are redundant, but the recruiters make your life hell. So you have to get a new number, reply to all those emails, set up a right price for you. And the biggest trouble is that people have very specific location constraint. That's why Google and Amazon decided that they're going to move to close to New York, because everybody would say that, no, we don't want to relocate to Arkansas or any other place. They say that we don't want to go to Mississippi. We only want a job of data science in New York. So that's happening. And these companies understood that part. Maybe they were recording your voice or something. I don't know where did they get this data from that everybody wants to be in New York. That's why Google and Amazon are opening their big offices. And they're going to have thousands of hiring in data analytics, big data, and machine learning. The trends are changing. We used to think in terms of permanent jobs and full-time roles and those kind. They're predicting that freelancing and contractual jobs are going to be the trend in the future. A lot of jobs, when they move online, then it would be hard for you to justify a remote job or a job that could not be outsourced. So you should be prepared for that and learn all the skills. There would be nothing left as a full-time job, which means a guaranteed job for a lifetime. That age is gone, unfortunately, for our age group. We won't see that kind of a flexibility where you join a job and they cannot hire you and you can keep in that job for a lifetime. So you have to keep upgrading your skill. And they are predicting that freelance talent is going to outnumber the non-freelance talent. So you should know what to freelance, when to freelance, how to talk with the freelancer, how to ask the right question, how to Google stuff, and how to add value beyond the freelancing stuff. So that's the thing that I also focus on. How to find out the question, the solution, so that you can outsource or freelance or whatever you want to do with the remaining part. And the other part is that a lot of mobile and computers are generating large amount of data. Earlier, when you used to talk with the companies, they could not store streaming data But now there is a big demand for Kafka developers, and these guys are an expert in storing streaming data. Right now, if you send an image to me, or if you want to talk to a bot, companies cannot store your live recording because they don't have the infrastructure to do that, because they cannot store gigabytes of data in 1 second or terabytes of data in 1 second. If you call Walmart right now, and if, I don't know, 100,000 people is calling Walmart right at this moment, earlier they did not have the infrastructure to store the voice of these people and run machine learning. But now with the help of big data and Kafka programmers, they have the infrastructure to store all this training data into their Hadoop cluster and then use it for machine learning to find out what happened good, what happened bad, and how to talk with us. Be careful. And then there is deep learning, which is mostly used in voice and image recognition. Netflix and Amazon and everybody is trying to find these deep learning guys. There was an article where it says that Google went and the guy said that pay anything, I want machine learning engineers. So that was machine learning engineer. There was no data science. They wanted somebody who is an expert in neural network and they were ready to pay any price. But they were not able to hire, I think, a few hundred of machine learning engineers, in spite of being open to any kind of a price that people want for that role. Hello. They are predicting that a machine would drive a truck better than a human very soon. There was an article that I was reading that in Arizona, some drivers punctured a car because they don't like machine learning cars. So it's like humans versus machine. Wherever people are going to see a self-driven car, they are going to go and attack the self-driving car. I don't know how that is going to play out in a social aspect. Because if suddenly all of the driving jobs are gone, and there is a statistical and empirical proof that there are less accidents in a self-driving car, how is human society going to react on that? But that's a big possibility of that going to happen. And this is by Forbes again. This is last month. Forbes published a research that, and they put a big range that 14 to 54% of US workforce would see automation. And I showed you the chart. Which field is going to see the automation the quickest? Professional services. The second quickest is financial and accounting. And the least would be the healthcare guys and the retail guys. They would take the hit the last due to automation. But the others would do it quite. And this also builds on the same, that finance department, finance and marketing and accounting are going to get hit by automation the most as compared to any other. And they're using natural language processing to read an equity report and give a buy or a sell signal. Earlier, humans used to read a report of a company and say that do you want to buy this company or not. Now machines can hear the call, they can read the report and give you a sentiment analysis, good or bad. What is the sentiment based on that article? Is it a good sentiment? Is it a bad sentiment? And Credit Suisse already used that. These salaries are suppressed by a great mean because they cannot find. But in the last 6 months, with the new administration and the new visa policies, the salaries are bloating right now. And it's going to be like that for the next 5 to 7 years. Because they were not expecting a lot of people to be drained out of market. A lot of people were taken out of market. So these are old salaries. Right now, the data science salaries with 2 to 3 years of experience is easily over 100 or 120. This is another thing which is by Glassdoor. It's 1 year ago, Jan 18, that there were 4,000 openings and the median salary was 110 by Glassdoor research. Every year, different companies publish a skill that is paid the highest. Anybody heard about MapReduce, what that skill is that was paid the highest? So MapReduce is the algorithm. You want to talk about MapReduce? Yes, it's for big data. It is the paradigm on how do you map your data that is stored in cluster and then reduce it to get the final outcome. And the code could be written in Java, Python, Spark, or Pig, which is the second highest paid. So companies are having a lot of data that is spread across cluster, but they want people to run MapReduce model to extract that data. And in our course, we run MapReduce models on Python. Because if you learn Python, you can go to the company and say to them, hey, I can run that MapReduce. Just give me the business logic, and I can make that paradigm for you. So Python also opens your door to learn MapReduce. SQL opens your door to learn Pig, which is like SQL, left join, right join, inner join, and group wise, and everything. Machine learning, they might use it as a specific thing about neural networks and deep neural networks, or it could be a general thing. Hive is storing structured data on Hadoop. So a lot of data with companies exist in SQL. A lot of companies are using SQL right now to design their database, and they want to move all of this data on the Hadoop ecosystem. So they want to use Hive or get that data, and so on. Anything that is unheard of other than that? Then move to the next one. This is how I have built up my course. We start with math and stats, basic math and stats, or Python. You can do it either ways. Then you have 3 directions to go. Either you have to decide that you want to dive more into math. In that case, you will dive more into machine learning. Or you have to decide that you want to dive more into big data, all these MapReduce in Python and extracting data and Pig and everything. Or else you have to decide whether you want to do automation and analytics more than any other thing, which is artificial intelligence. So you have to decide or tweak in your specialization, which are the 3 things that I have in plan and my instructors. This is a site about math, but this is how the 6 months looks like. We start with Python because Python opens door to everything and anything that you want to do. Even if you want to run a MapReduce, you can just Google how to run a MapReduce code in Python, and you will get the code. You have statistical fundamentals. Pandas is all analytics that Excel and SQL could do. So Microsoft Excel, all the features that you can ever think of in Excel, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index match, pivot tables, histograms, whatever you can think of in Microsoft Excel could be done using Pandas and automated and could be easily replicated. Plus whatever you can think on SQL. All the charts that you could ever do in Excel, all the bar charts, pie charts, histogram, heat maps, whatever you can think of could be done in Pandas. So all the Excel and SQL jobs which were not automated are going to be killed by Pandas. So Pandas can read a CSV, read an Excel file, create all those charts for you, make those pivot tables, do the VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, write your reports, and just save the report in a PDF format. And they would need Python engineers to debug it. Why is it not working? This thing worked for last 9 months. Suddenly it is not working. Can you go ahead and find out that one? So they would need Python developers to handle that because they would already move all these stuff from Excel and SQL to Python. So data cleaning and wrangling, that's like a big part because I told you 80% of the data is unstructured. It's in a format that we cannot readily use. How are we going to clean the data and fight with the data? And we have to hassle with the data to make it usable. So that's data cleaning and wrangling. Regression and exploratory data analysis is just to explore the data. Graphs and charting, all the kind of fancy charts. Right now in Excel, you don't have charts that use extensive JavaScript, which means that if you hover something on Excel, it does not pop up automatically. You need to explicitly use JavaScript to do that. But in Python, you can draw all the JavaScript charts as well by using PyPlot, which runs D3G, the latest JavaScript library. So you can create all the fancy charts that are not possible in Excel. You can use Tableau to do those fancy charts. But Tableau is again paid right now. So you need to pay money. And it's not open source. So if something is not working, you can call nobody unless them. And you don't get a lot of help to do that. But if you want to do the same chart in Python, you'll get a lot of help online because it's open source, it's free. So if something does not work, you can still search. Then we have classification and regression. I just told you the difference. Classification is to classify yes, no, 0, 1. And regression is give me the exact number, a continuous variable. Then you have natural language processing on how to process a language and find out sentiment or whatever you want to find out. Decision tree, random forest, and naive Bayes. This is another kind of algorithm. Neural network and deep learning is mimicking our human brain and making the neural network just as we have a neural network in our brain. SQL and databases. Data engineering is one specialization that we focus on. Sparse, Scala, Hive, and Edge-based. This is all big data. So either you can go deeper into the math of machine learning, or you can go towards big data. And the other specialization is Django, Flask, and DevOps, which is like automation, like making an app or automating a lot of stuff, like automating email, automating charts. If you want to download a SQL from a website, create charts and email it to everybody at your office, you could probably do that in Flask and Pandas and Python. So it's all automation, simple office automation. So that's another specialization of focus that you can do. This is how to excel as a data scientist. So to excel as a data scientist, you should have an open mind to learn anything that comes to your table, because you don't know what they're going to throw at you, all kind of crazy data. And you have to get data from the company through APIs, unstructured data through Hadoop, and then make use of that data. So you should be very open. And there is something called DevOps. It's a new emerging field that data science is getting integrated, which is to make small apps using software virtualization and launch those apps. For example, if right now you want to run, you make an app that goes to Hadoop and run the MapReduce, which was the highest paid thing a year ago. You have to install Hadoop and practice on Hadoop MapReduce. But what about creating your own virtual Hadoop and running that app and making it production ready and just launch that without even having Hadoop? So DevOps guys is like software virtualization. They're doing that. So that's one thing that's going to be slowly integrated. Anybody has heard about software and hardware virtualization? Have you heard about this? So right now, if you have an Android phone, it only allows you to have one app or an app. When you install on your Android phone, it's only one app. Like if I want to run WhatsApp, I cannot run two WhatsApp on my phone, right? It's going to link up to only one number. I have to sign out and then sign into another number, right? That's how WhatsApp works. What if you want to run 20 WhatsApp right now on my computer? So on my computer right now, I want to run 20 WhatsApp on 20 numbers. How can I do that? So I'll make virtual computers, virtual Androids, 20 virtual Androids, run them in parallel and install 20 WhatsApp on these. It's hardware virtualization. I'm creating a virtual hardware, an Android hardware. So WhatsApp, when it gets installed on my computer, it's going to think that it's a phone. It's not an application on the computer. So we're going to mimic the hardware. We're going to have our own hardware, and we'll convince WhatsApp that this is a hardware you're running on your own independent Android phone, and you can be free and assume that everything is right. So that's software virtualization, a part of DevOps and automation. What you will be able to do after this course. What you will be able to do after this course is based on also what background you're coming from, but you can start from structured or unstructured data, automate it. You can use cloud platform. You can run web scraping or data collection automation. You can clean data. You can understand the different aspects of data, which is SQL, NoSQL, and unstructured data. You can set up your own big data infrastructure if you want to. You can compare and select the right machine learning algorithm that you want to. You can understand natural language processing bot, because a lot of marketing jobs or any job is going to be taken over by bots. A lot of time when we are chatting or talking at companies, it's all bots. So to configure those bots and use those bots, many companies are selling those bots. Amazon is selling those bots as an AWS service. You pay them money and they'll allow you to use the bot, which is already trained. IBM Watson is also giving us their bots. How to use those bots? Automate all your boring stuff and collect data from APIs, different APIs. Different companies are selling these API where you can just query that API and get that data. So an API would be like, for example, Amazon is selling an API for your house security. You give an image and it's going to tell you the age, the gender, and some information about that image. And you pay Amazon a fee per image. So if you are a security, if you want to install a security camera and you want to find out the age of people attending your shop, you can buy this, put it in the camera, take picture, send it to Amazon. Amazon is going to take 2 or 5 cents, but you can collect the age and gender of everybody who came to your shop. If the privacy issue, you can deal how to do with that, because nobody wants that picture to be taken and they might sue you for doing that. But if you take that thing aside, Amazon is giving you this API, send us the image, we are going to throw you back the age and gender of that image. And they have a demonstration. In downtown, Amazon has an office on Broadway Street. You can go there and learn about all of their products that they are building. So how to connect that? Because if you go to a company and They want to use data science. They also want you to understand how to use this NLP and image recognition and everything. If the model is not performing good, then you have to tweak the model parameters, and they allow you to tweak a little bit here and there. But you should know what the models are for image processing, and the last part is visualization and making your app or a website. Once you have everything, you created your own algorithm, how you can wrap it up. So if you automated all of your stuff at your office, now you want to launch it as a website or an app so that somebody could come to a website, click here, and all the automation that was happening on the background is going to happen, and they're going to get an email about whatever happens. So if you want to package everything up, then you're going to use Chamber. Niket is here with us, so I'll let Niket talk about himself. He's our instructor who focuses on deep learning. Number 3.
Hi guys, Niket here. Recently, currently I'm working at a company, startup. The name is Shop. So right now we are looking at the forex market and the share market, and we are trying to make some money out of the prediction. Is predicting what the price is going to be tomorrow, what the direction is going to be tomorrow. So this is just a use case of machine learning right now. And you might think that, okay, forecasting, it's a simple task. We are doing weather forecasting, we are doing passenger forecasting, there's a lot of stuff going on. But in the share market, the main thing you can see is the emotions or the sentiments of the people. And it's not just in New York or just in maybe consider US. It's going to take a whole, lot, totally. When we are building a model, we have to include all the data from Twitter or New York Times, and not only that, we have to take weather data also and include everything from the sentimental analysis. Then with that, to the data analysis, with that to the machine learning, and with that, set the predictions. What is going to be the rate? And the rate is not maybe think the share stock price of Apple is 963 something, 963.125. But our prediction should be 963.126 or 963.127. So getting a really, really close prediction is too much difficult. This is one of the toughest thing that is right now happening in the market. And you believe it or not, we are
about the difference between machine learning, deep learning, and artificial intelligence.
Okay, so we are really, really close to figuring all of these things out. So like Joshish said, so what is AI and what is machine learning, and then what is deep learning? So AI is a huge field. When you say, hey Siri, how are you? So Siri is going to respond to you. Then you have Google, then you have Cortana, and you have Alexa. They are all the AI agents, artificial agents. They are all built by using some or the other mathematical algorithms. These mathematical algorithms, 10 or 15 years ago, we have to write it on the paper, and everything has to be done with the paper and everything. But now there are packages made for them on the Python, in the C++ language, in the R language, in all the languages. You just have to call the package, and you can do anything. So now, what is machine learning? Your simple regression problems, your simple classification problems, the analysis that you can perform, figuring out the yes or no, true or false, or maybe just like I told you about the stock prediction. So this is all machine learning. So there are different techniques. Basically, you have a classification problem or a regression problem. In the classification problem, you might have to figure out whether the direction of the stock market is going to be high or low. Whether it's going to be cold or hot, or maybe just like one of the simplest data, tightening data, whether the person survived or not survived. And in the regression, you have to predict the exact value of the stock price, or of the maybe the temperature of the weather forecast, or maybe the forecast for your company, how much your company is going to make a profit the coming year, or the coming month, or the coming day, or the coming hour, or maybe the coming minute or second. So this is the regression portion of the machine learning. There is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. These are the 3 different kind of learning right now in the machine learning. So you guys have heard about this thing, right? Anyone? Like I said, what is supervised, what is unsupervised, and what is reinforcement learning? I'll just give you a short intro to that thing. So when you say supervised learning, so it's simple. You have the data. You know like this means that it is labeled actually. This means high, this means low, this means down, this means whatever. You just have to give the machine that data, those labels, ask the machine to train itself by looking at the labels, and then it can make some inferences out of that thing and store that thing. And when you give it a new data, so it will give you the class label for that thing. That is the supervised learning. In the unsupervised learning, you don't have anything. It's like unstructured. You don't know what that thing is. Like if you take the images into consideration, when you take a picture, we as a human being we can understand that in the image we may have a man, we may have a car, or the background there is a sky or something like that. But the machine, which is our main scope, it doesn't understand anything. So it becomes a unlabeled data. So right now there are two companies in the market which are trying to label all these images. They are trying to label the pixels in the images. Like this particular thing is a human being, this is a dog, this is a cat, this is a smile, this is a happy person, this is a sad person. And then they are giving us that data, and we are trying to use that data to label the other images. So this is like one of the, in the Facebook also, when you post a picture, when you upload a picture, Facebook automatically tags you or your friend. This is one of the use cases of unsupervised learning. So this has been happening, but now they are trying to extract the story out of the picture. Means where you were, what was the things in your surroundings, everything. So in the future, you can even give some written document to the machine, and it can generate a live movie out of that thing, an animated movie out of that thing. So we are like really close to that thing. This was unsupervised learning. Even you can have the videos. You can have the audio files, you can have the text files, everything is under the unsupervised learning. They are not structured, they are not properly labeled or categorized. Then you have the reinforcement learning. Have you ever heard about the Go game, Geo? Anyone? So it's like one of the most toughest game right now in the world. It's smarter than chess. So there are only mostly Japanese or the Chinese people are playing Go mostly. They are like top-notch players over there. So we were able to beat the machine was able to beat human beings in the chess, in the poker also, and in other games also. But this Go was something which we were not able to make a machine to win actually. So recently, Google came out with a system, a supercomputer named AlphaGo. They gave it the data, asked it to train itself without giving it any rules or anything. Only they gave it like, this is your game, you have to win. If you lose, you'll die. So they trained it and trained it and trained it and trained it for like a long time, for like 1.5 years. And the machine was like so strong, it was able to beat itself like millions and millions of times, because in the computer world, millions and millions are like only an hour or 2 hours. So it was like so much better that recently it won a game like I think so 7-0 with a human being and with the best Go player in the world. So this is one of the supervised, the reinforcement example. So these three things are like one of the what should I say, the data types in the languages. Then we have the what is that? Deep learning, right? Deep learning. So deep learning, you have the simple machine learning. You have XGBoost algorithms. Have you ever heard about XGBoost, GBM, or maybe regression, linear regression, logistic regression? There are so many algorithms over there. But when you come to deep learning, it's totally neural network. So like just we human beings have a brain. We have neurons going around inside the brain. When we learn something new, a new neural network is formed actually. So similarly, when we perform the neural network analysis or deep learning on some data, so the machine tries to extract all the features, all the parameters that it can from the data. And even we, as a human being, we can't understand what the machine is going to do, because we are just giving it the parameters. Like if I look at a person, I don't know what the machine or what my brain is actually doing, but it is able to store that person's name. Similarly, the machine, when we give the data to the the deep learning to the machine, it is able to extract some features, maybe the eyebrows, maybe the color of the skin, anything. We don't know actually, but it is able to learn that thing. So that becomes the deep learning part. It is totally similar to our human brain. That's why it can, in the future, become much and much stronger. That's why people are right now focusing more and more on deep learning. It has the possibility, with that, deep learning means the possibility to have machines which which can one day become conscious actually, which is the ultimate scope or ultimate aim of the people who are in AI. So AI is a huge box. We have a small portion called machine learning. Inside we have a small portion called deep learning. Everything is AI, artificial intelligence. So if you are going to become a data scientist or a machine learning engineer, you are going towards the AI. And if you are not going to become the AI engineer or maybe a data scientist or something like that, then yeah, in the future the AI is going to be your boss ultimately because it's going to occupy all the other fields. Already we have the AI agents which can actually perform the jobs of accountants or the clerks or even the taxi drivers, even the automation in the industry. So in the future, it's going to be better and better and better. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nikhil. Did we miss anybody? No. Sajid is going to take back. He's our Chief Operation Officer and he's the one who glues all of us.
Hi everyone. Why are we here today? What makes us come to this event? It's because we want to see the hope of increasing our salary, isn't it? Is that true? So there's a lot of other boot camps, General Assembly, Caltech, this is Medis, and what is the difference between them and us? They're offering data science courses as well. We're offering data sciences courses as well. The difference is they do a class full of 30 people altogether. What we do here, we make small groups, we create the focus groups. Then we engage our students in understanding data science. The other difference you get is like we take care of our group like a newborn baby and raise it to where it's supposed to be so that the moment they get out of our institute, you can access those job opportunities. Talking about other places, they'll give you a job, but they won't guarantee you that how long that job's going to sustain. You might get fired after a month or two. But in this sense, we're not guaranteeing your job placement, but we're preparing you with tools, applications, and necessary equipment and weapons for you to face that. Once you get into a company, we assure the knowledge that we give you is going to enable you to sustain your job. One more thing, even you get into a job with our qualifications, we'll make sure any kind of problem you face in your job regarding what your tasks you have, we're going to provide you the backend support. You're in a job, get stuck with some problem, give us a call. Our instructor is always there to support you. Now, talking about the feasibility. All those places are expensive. What we're doing, we're actually BAiNYC. We call ourselves Blockchain AI New York Networks. We're building network of data science professionals or creating them to bind together and flood the market. That's why affordability comes here. We're the only institute that's giving you the affordable price than other, and this option is only for today. If you wish to enroll to our free class, free prep class, you can get that offer. The whole course is $5,400 and it's only for today. The moment you walk out of here without any registration, it goes off. You have to wait perhaps maybe another 2 months to get this opportunity. So I request you, try our free prep class. If you like it, we can continue building you guys from there. And regarding projects, I know once you take the qualifications and walk out of this place, you're gonna want to know what you take from us. You take real-time projects that are given to us by corporates situated in Manhattan and different locations. You work on those projects, you take those projects and build your portfolio. We help you prepare your resume and profile so that you can face your job interviews. As I said before, when you're even interviewing, we're helping. Your support is there even when you're interviewing, right beside you. You have met our instructors. They're really good in taking care of small groups. So you'll be taken care of the moment you come here till you finish your course. That was my pitch. And you guys can continue with the job.
Thank you. Yeah, for anything regarding admissions, you have to talk to Sajid. I'll show you the prep course, which is free. So the idea is you register the prep course, you deposit the money. If you don't want to join the course, you get your money back. If you're not able to pass my entrance exam, you get your money back. Only if you continue with the course, that money gets adjusted. So it's virtually free. You can come the next day and say, no, I don't want to take a prep course, and you'll get your money back. The idea for us is that we are looking for people who are motivated, who have the fire, the desire to excel and move ahead in their career and join us in this exciting field of data science. I'll show you a little bit about my prep course. Or I think you have to just Google. All of my courses are on Udemy. It's a 2-hour prep course. And this is my account. So these are the prep course. In the first class, I'm going to do Python 101, second class SQL 101, machine learning 101, and the last class would be your assessment. If you do good in the assessment, then you are with me for next 6 months with my instructors. If you are not good, then I'm probably going to give you more time, or you have to decide what you want to do. If you want to give another shot, then you can come back again and learn again. So that course is free. If you guys have any question, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to continue and talk a little more about jobs in data science and the profiles that I would be targeting you. Some of the sample. Anybody has any question before I move ahead? You can talk to Sajid also if you have any questions regarding.
Yeah, please be open. Have any questions?
Everybody has this card. Just you can keep this card. Everybody has your card?
Yeah, you guys have my card, right?
Okay, you can call him anytime. So in the starting, my focus is Python automation and data analytics. That's the first 1/4 of the course. Then regression and classification and machine learning. Then go deeper into machine learning, and then focus on one of the specialization that you want to move ahead. I just taught this one. This is like how a finance professional would use data science. Right now in finance, we are using a lot of Excel and SQL. We would help you to migrate to Python and Pandas to automate a lot of those stuff. And Python is becoming mandatory in all business school and finance school. Automation of all legacy analytics that you used to do, where you used to download and put data into Excel and create all those charts in Excel, that's going to go away. So creating all the charts, automation, analytics, and pivot table in Python Pandas. Connecting SQL and access to Python and vice versa. If you have a SQL server, then pulling the data from SQL server, doing what you were earlier doing in Excel. Creating all the visualization, creating dashboards and web pages in Python using Django and Flask library. Setting up infrastructure on the cloud and using machine learning or Spark or any other library that you want to do with your big data. Understanding how to scrape financial website. Go to the website, and if that website is not giving you a CSV, you want to read word by word and get paragraphs and lines from that website and use different APIs. And running trading model and time series model and generating scripts that automatically email users or update your website. So your website is live and getting updated all the time. Once we understand Python and learn Python and do automation, we can easily wrap it up using the Python web development library to make a live website. So all that you did in Python is useful and could be used in your website. Right now, the problem with the other framework is that if you use JavaScript and other latest framework which Facebook is developing, then you have to develop again the code in Python and link it up, or maybe you have to write the code back in JavaScript or somewhere. Here, if everything is Python, if you get an error, you know how to read the error, you know how to connect that error to Python framework.
Guys, if there's refreshment for you guys, you're most welcome to grab whatever you need.
Yeah, I'm taking a 5-minute break, so
have a 5-minute break.
after I'm going to show you more sample jobs and what kind of jobs you can have. Yeah, 5-minute break.
Okay, right.
There's a refreshment.
No, just a break.
Yeah. From 10 years to
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't remember saying that, but no. So you yeah, I've been hearing people saying that. I believe you. But I don't know. Again, it's strange. Okay, so you think I don't need to study? Oh, what do you think?
I'm just learning school I'm also learning the I can't to make sure you work like how you use it, like how you have So this is just like you're gonna learn new skills, but you're not like changing any way of your things. So
More information secret after the session.
Yeah. I have experience in programming.
कोई अंकल को है इसलिए ट्रिक बटन नाम पे अंकल ये साइन अप कर कंप्यूटर আমরা অন্য কনফারেন্স করি তো अंकल अंकल रूमी इच्छा ना फोन नंबर दिए तो ওটা আবার বলে দিতে হবে
You 1541 one.
অন্যের কম্পিউটার ঢুকলে একটু কেমন লাগে বুঝুন যদিও আমি অফিসে ঢুকে
Maybe it's a better system. That's right. So we realize
As a product needed.
Hey, are you around your computer? Okay, yes, let me call you on Skype. Give me a second. Yes. Okay, I'm sending you. I'm going to add you through your name because I know that. So I'm sending you a request on Skype. Okay, I send you a friend request. Yes. Okay, let me see again. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. Yes, check now. Skype ID? Okay, let me do that. I send you a request in the meantime. Yeah. Yeah, the video. Yes. Sophie and Boris, I would have to close this for a moment. I'm going to be back.
No,
Tariq, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, let me see how to hear your voice. Give me a second. Or maybe I'll call you through my phone and put on a loudspeaker. Let me call you on the phone. Okay, guys, I'm going to call one of my students who's taking session with us. We have 3 more, but they were not available tonight. Hello? Hey Tariq, I'm trying to put you on loudspeaker, but this is what I could do. Yeah, you're on the mic. Everybody can hear you.
Okay, here we are getting in contact with another student who currently acquired a high salary job.
He's still giving the interviews. So, this is not the voice is not. Give me a second, Tariq. Let me call you from another
What's it called? Bluetooth?
Yeah, you can come out, put it. Yeah, so you make it. Oh, no.
839-7815. He is on the batch that happens on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 2.
Yeah, go ahead, Tariq. Give us your testimonial. No.
Yeah, blocking my screen.
I'm leaving. I'm medical level. I think somebody is going
Yeah. 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 Go ahead with the testimonial, Tariq.
You know that Josh is explaining to you guys, and to be honest with you, I just joined like as I said up on, and I was so impressed with.
What just happened? Yeah, go ahead. Man.
Okay, so
Video, video.
okay. Now I think it's back again. I can hear you. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I just joined like it was and I was so impressed by the quality of the material, you know, in this bootcamp. I'm so happy with, you know, Josh is assistant. You know, I think everybody now know that Josh, you know, is, and also I would mention that the stuff's there with the, you know, they were really helpful as well. I would say it's a very, very good program and we're ready to get a job, you know, in 3 or 4 months, you know, next time. The material that they use is really what everybody needs to know about, you know, data analytics or data science or big data. So what I was told about the program is Josh is going to give you more than
how do I do that?
He's using an iPhone.
Yeah.
FaceTime.
Oh,
This
FaceTime.
information you're running through
Is it
that.
going to come?
What?
Can you
Stream it
link
to
FaceTime streaming to iPhone?
Yes, you can FaceTime from the
Yeah.
computer. And it goes on the screen.
Yeah, but I think
Sorry for
we
the
got
interruption.
more or less. Yeah, he joined. What was that? Springboard. If you have heard about Springboard.
Yeah.
So he joined the Springboard, but the Springboard, he was not happy with how the Springboard was working out. So then he came to us and joined our course. So he's continuing Springboard as well as our course, which is kind of very tricky because then he has to complete Springboard homework and my homework. So he's
And
doing
it's
that.
working too, right? It's working too, right?
And it's working, yeah. So, and we are also using DataCamp as an optional if you want to use. So DataCamps make sure that we are exactly in synchronized with the Springboard curriculum, because Springboards make a vow that if you can complete the DataCamp modules, then we guarantee you a job, or we pay our money back. So we are using exactly the same content that Springboard is using, which you can also use on your own. You can just go there and buy DataCamp. So we are using the same content as Springboard or any other bootcamp is using. So we are not reinventing the wheel. We are trying to create our own content, but that is much more simpler and different, and a different way of teaching, which my content that gets created when we work. So that's like our content. As a student, you are going to do all those practices with me. But other than that, we are using, and everybody knows about DataCamp, or this is, you heard about these guys? So they have courses, not expensive, like $100, $120 a year or something like that, $20 a month or something like that. But the courses that they have here, they don't explain it properly. There are no nice solutions. Plus, the data that they use, they don't allow us to pull it out. So if they say that this is a data frame and now run a group by or a join, they don't allow us to download that data frame. So we cannot get the data outside. And they have a lot of error in terms of the questions that they have and the exercises that they give. So we are using the content that they already created. So we are using this account to do that. Yes, you have to sign in first. So it's used by most of the organization to train. I don't know if I have. So everybody gets this account which they use, and then you complete on the content. So I make sure that we are on the same track as the best bootcamps and the content that they created. Outside this, everybody makes their own GitHub account and Azure Notebook online, and they practice. So everybody pays their Azure account here, and I added you to my Slack channel where I have everybody. So like, for example, everybody share their code and things here. So like, my last class was with Rumana. So she was sharing her code and GitHub account and videos. And then we have San and Tariq who are using it. So you can also go up and see the kind of conversation and everything that we have. So when you join the course, you would be pasting code here. This was Tariq. He was sending us some code, and everything was posted on GitHub and Azure Notebook. So all the code is on the cloud. So you can revisit the code and do the changes. So this is, for example, this is the code that I created for Udemy. So when you work it, all your notebooks are on the cloud. So anybody can see it and you can publish it on GitHub. So this is what you create in the class, in-class notes and take-home assignment. Beside that, you have to also do the DataCamp. The DataCamp exercise is hard because they make it very hard, because when they say that if you do this, you get a job, they have to make sure that they really make you work on this. Otherwise, they have to pay you the money back. So this is probably the hardest exercise that is available online, and that's why we picked that. And my content as well, which I break down things and write my comments and everything. So these are the courses which my current group is taking. Right now, she's retaking it on loops. And then she's going to do intro to data science or intro to pandas or whatever, all the projects that she wants to do. And they also have videos. So when you start something, you can also listen to the videos, but they just jump into and dive into it. This is a fast course. They assume that you know a lot of stuff. So if they want to teach you this matplotlib, they go very fast in terms of the video. But I slow it down so that I make sure that I'm with you and we do this. They have like these videos. Yeah, in 3 minutes they try to give you something, but it's very quick. And So I use this as a homework assignment, and you have to complete these courses. I try to match what I do with this before you go there so that you already know what is going to be there. If you want to try the content out, you can make a temp account on DataCamp and check it out. Beside that, these are the kind of job roles. And I make sure that the group size right now is 4 to 5. I won't let it go beyond 8. So the average would be between 4 to 8. And it's inside. So the classes are going in the same place here. This is a kind of a comparison, like we are 24 weeks, 250 hours of class with me or my instructors. It's either me or Niket or my other instructor, Hannah. So 250 hours of class with them. The group size is 4 to 8. And we are more portfolio centric, which is GitHub and interviews. Whenever I talk something, and since we have the interview from all the current students, we already know the question that they ask. So we are very focused on interviews. So if I teach something, I know the question in interview that they're going to ask you. Entry is hard because I won't allow somebody in unless you clear my technical round. And it's more focused on job and networking, so attending meetups and Eventbrite. My focus here is to get you a job and make you ready so that you survive in the job. So that's like one of my comparison with the other programs. This is a breakup of the syllabus. It's in the slides. These are some things that I go through, but not always. But if you look at a general prerequisite, you should know SQL 101. I have my 2-hour course. That's all I want from you. I have Python 101. And I have Data Science 101 to teach you very basic web scraping. I don't expect you to know a lot of stuff. I just want to see your interest. And then we have very basic math and statistics. A lot of these things are, you must just know that they exist. A lot of time, what you're going to learn, you won't memorize. And I'll stress you not to memorize that, but I'll show you how to search on Google. Because Google is there to help us in our job. We should memorize and understand the things that we want to, not everything. So 90% of the things we don't need to memorize, but we should know how to search it on Google. Ask Google the right answer, go to the right link and get the answer from that. Like the favorite site that everybody uses is Stack Overflow. Have you used Stack Overflow? Stack Overflow has the best answers right now. So if I want to see how to loop through keys of a dictionary, I'm going to write how to loop through keys in a Python dictionary, open the Stack Overflow, the first link in that, and the first answer, which is highest rated on the top, and that will be my answer. I'll directly use it. I won't expect you to memorize that code. You don't need to do that. It's unnecessary stress for you. Your job is not to memorize the code, but your job is decision making, understanding the models, and finding out a solution to the problem that the company is facing, not to memorize the code. These are my specialization if you want to go deeper, if you want to go more into big data. Right now, Hannah is taking that, then she's going to take you into more of big data. If you want to go to deep learning, that Niket and me are going to take you there, more into deep learning specialization. If you want to go into more on data automation and automate a lot of stuff in finance and accounting, then you can focus on that as well. So these are kind of 3 specializations. You already know my instructors. These are some terms that I've been using in the presentation. Okay, this is a job profile or a description of somebody who's looking for Python automation and analytics. So they would want you to know Python pandas because they want you to do the joins, the group by, the pivoting, and everything in SQL. A lot of automation would also require you to do sentiment analysis to generate the reports and use a lot of charting libraries and creating the script and dashboarding it and store semi-structured data on Hadoop and store NoSQL data. So this is like more of a Python automation and analytics. If this would have been a machine learning course, then this course would say more like deep learning network, recurrent neural network, different ways to find out high accurate models and all those kind of stuff. So you have to decide which direction you are going and what you want to check. But if you know a little bit, you can still transition between them. This is a relatively new person. This is how a fresher's profile would look like. Somebody who's just starting it. It's like doing all the data cleaning, collection, aggregation, and analysis and visualization using Python. Understand streaming data and learning the machine learning methods, neural network, deep learning, XGBoost, and be familiar with all the paradigms of how to get the data from different sources. So this is like a very intro or a junior data science profile. You are free to attend my class for a demo that happens on the Monday. You have to talk with Sajid, and he'll help you if you want to take the free prep course to give the entrance exam. So that's the other part. If you have any question, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go deeper into the data science jobs that exist.
If you have any kind of question, job related, on job related, problems related to your job, you can ask him. He has the answer. This is an opportunity here.
Yeah, and we also provide you help when you get a job. In the initial part, you can come here, you can talk to us on the weekends outside your job hours. You have to make appointment, and we or Niket or whoever is here is going to help you outside our meetup. I used to keep like 6 hours meetup, like 2.5 or 3 hours on every Saturday and Sunday, where I used to invite anybody on board to talk anything of machine learning. So we have like open house as well for our students, where any of our students can just come into those 6 hours and talk to us anything that they want. It's like 6 hours of open house for all of our students, whoever have joined the work. Other than that,
and to carry on that, this is the only institution that does that. Because once you finish at an institution and they give you that piece of paper, that's it. So this is a part of the customer relationship management, because we'd like for you to market our product as well.
Yeah,
in terms of, hey, this is what we do here. Keep in mind, we're not just going to bring you and give you a class and then drop you at the order, you know? We're going to push you into the environment and foster you. So as you come on with things that may become challenging to you, you could always reach back as a source of reference.
There's an opportunistic offer as well. It's just you guys here, I just want to go. We have a referral program as well. So if you want to earn some extra money, if you bring your friends, you get up to 25% bonus. So that's the referral program. You bring in a group of 5, we did it for 1 person. You join for free. So this is the referral program. You can work on it as well.
yeah, but I'm selective in my groups. I cannot promise I'm going to take all 5.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
have to attend my class and pass my exam before I let them.
The industry is selective. We have to be selective.
Because if somebody comes to me or our institute and asks for people, we want smart, motivated people to go and join that. So otherwise, because it's not just about money. If I work hard with you, if I'm taking your call at 12 p.m. in midnight on machine learning, I want you to get a good job. If you settle for an 80,000 job or 70,000 job, that's an insult to me as well. Like I put such a hard work and you are devaluing my brand. So
we want you to access that higher salary. That's the only reason we're doing this open house. You know, it's not for everyone, but it's for those who really is driving towards increasing their salary. Go ahead, Christian.
yeah. So these are the batches right now. The morning batch and the noon batch. Those are the times that you can come. You have to talk to Sajid to make that appointment. Other than that, you have my Udemy course and YouTube course to check out my teaching style and everybody. And you can add any of my instructor on LinkedIn for long-term connection. So you can add Hina, or you can add Pratik, Niket, you can add me or Sajid or Rumi or whoever you want to, and you can stay connected with us just to see what's happening. We post a lot of Udemy courses and free stuff as well, just to follow. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. We can talk on that. Now I'm all in for your question.
has some questions you want to ask.
Yeah.
We should ask this course. What would we call? We are data scientists.
Yeah, that's what the tag we are.
And we have something written in our hands that we are data scientists.
Yes.
On that.
Yes. We are going to make
recognized.
That would be we would be validating that.
And how much experience we will have in our hands after completion of this course?
That you have to see based on what we have been doing. So we have to grant you. So if you are doing finance and accounting, then we have to grant you that you bring in finance, accounting, and Python and data science. So that is how you brand yourself based on your projects, your past jobs, and everything. So if you are a math and stat guy, then you have to brand and focus on your math courses and your old experience. And I was doing this, and this is a part of my experience that links very close to data science, so that we can package you and send you as an attractive option. But believe me, right now the job market is crazy, and it's going to be like that because the market have adjusted based on what they expect in the next election. So they need people like crazy. So they want.
Employers don't care of having a degree in someone's hand, or they just need the
They just need people. They just need people. The only part which is tricky, which you can talk with them, is the US citizen and the green card holder thing and all those aspects. So right now, a lot of things are happening such that they want local people. So the market is very good right now. It's very hot right now. And they are adjusting that because they know that in the future it's hard to move people in or move people here and there. So they are adjusting and they are very aggressive.
And what is the international scope of this?
That you have to talk with Sajid and the owner about how they are going to do that. Yes.
Regarding the use case of the data science, you previously gave an example like one business owner who has a target like in the next year I need to make this volume of business. So do you have all the use cases, data science use cases in different?
Yeah, they're in my slides. So if you go there, I prepared like how would a data science role look for a finance professional? If somebody is coming from finance and accounting, somebody was working in equity research, fixed income research, investment banking, or data analytics, customer relationship management, how are they going to use data science? They're going to use it for automating a lot of their numbers. Because in that case, their business is more focused towards automation and using SQL and big data. So they would automate all of their legacy stuff and streamline it. So that's their use case for Python. For a business guy, it's a different use case. So for a marketing guy, he's going to do web scraping, collect information about his competitors, automate a lot of stuff, use the bots, use the API for machine learning. Like Niket just told that you can just look at a customer and find out whether he was happy with your service or not. Those kind of stuff. Marketing people are going to use those kind of stuff. Automated emails, auto scraping of emails, auto generation of reply, reading a sentiment from a customer review. How can you read a customer review? How can a machine read a review or an email and tell you whether it's a positive sentiment or a negative sentiment? If it's a negative sentiment, only then you go ahead and dig deeper. If you think it's a positive sentiment, you say, it's okay, I'm not worried about this email. So how to take all these emails? If you get 1,000 reviews every day of your product, how would you take out which one you should read? You cannot read 1,000 emails, otherwise a human has to read them. But machine learning can give you all positive and negative sentiments. So out of 100, these 50, and these were the ratings. That this was the most negative sentiment, and then you are going to read. So that's based on what you are doing: marketing, customer relationship, finance. Everybody has a use case because everything is going to use this technology. You have to decide which is how you're going to brand yourself in the market. How you're going to link your past experience and learning and portfolio to brand yourself in the market. And if you are coming from programming, then the way to brand yourself is like Hadoop developer or network security or something like that. You have to find a way on how you fit your place and then focus on that.
What are your Udemy courses?
Yeah, it's
What are they? Yeah.
It's Python 101,
Python.
SQL 101, Data Science 101,
Oh, okay.
and Career in Data Science. These are the 4 prerequisite courses. All of them are like 2-hour courses.
Oh, okay.
It's like 6 hours of prerequisite, and they are free. You just go on Udemy and I'm going to repeat the same thing in the class, and there would be an entrance based on these 4 topics, so that you have a clear path and a trajectory for the next 6 months. Any other thing you want to get started with a little bit of Python? What's next? For starting Python, you can do everything on the cloud. So you can make an account on Azure Notebook, which I talk about in my Python 101 course. You can start with basic Python online right away. So that's how we start with. Everything is on the cloud. So all of your software, your operating system, your code will be on cloud and nothing on your computer. And that is it more or less from my side. This is one of the migration from non-programmer to data science or automation. How would a non-programmer guy, whenever they're programming, most of the non-programming guys use mostly Excel. So how do you think Python in terms of Excel? How do you understand all the charting and analytics for a non-programming guy? Just to look at charts and find out. Or visualization, or sentiment analysis, or bots that's going to reply automatically and connecting API to different sources. So this is like a finance profession who never did any programming and how he would migrate his interest and his work into the data science world. Okay, and also all of our instructors have GitHub account. Rumi? Yeah, would you like to talk about the Kaggle things that you have been doing in recent times and talk about Kaggle?
Let me show it to you.
Yeah.
I don't have it signed up.
Okay, so I'll show you and maybe I'll post a link. I think everybody is on Slack. I added everybody on Slack. If you're not on Slack, let me know. Anybody heard about Kaggle? So Rumi has done a lot of projects on Kaggle. He's a gold star medalist on Kaggle for doing all the projects. So he has several projects. In Kaggle, you have some raw data, and there are different people building models. And companies want to see which model is the best. Sometimes they reward up to, I think the biggest reward was $40,000 US. So companies would just throw that data and say, can you make a model for us, data science model for us? This is our problem, this is our data, give us the solution. So this is the account of.
Okay, so like Kaggle is basically like it's like Facebook but for data scientists, and like a lot of like resource. So basically everyone like shows their work and you can use it like as a portfolio for your work to for recruiters to see. So like some of the things that I worked with, like this one, and like they provide all the data sets, so it's free for you to use. And Kaggle is basically like owned by Google, so they want people to get involved more in this, so that like because they're gonna need people to because you guys heard that Google is coming here, right? So they want people to get more involved and learn like all this from all these resources. So I'm just gonna show like this is one of the kernel I wrote. It's just it's basically like the process, like how data science project like works, like from starting to the end.
And he ran all the models, and he has to load the data, clean the
Yes.
data, and run the model.
Yeah. So like if you okay, so
This is public information, right?
yeah, this is public. Anybody could access it. So you could access it from your laptop. So like so here I wrote the kernel goals, like just to like get more people in the right direction, and then I import data. Like most of the codes are like hidden, that's why you can't see. So if you click here, you could see all the codes. But yeah, and I think I'm importing the so this is where I'm importing the data sets. It's that simple. It's just, and then from here on, and these are all like cleaning data.
So a lot of people are going to work with the same data, and they'll come out with their solution and an accuracy level. And whoever does the best job, and what are we predicting in this case? What do we want to predict?
In this challenge, we're trying to predict based on the information of multiple passengers. We're trying to predict whether the passenger was male or female. So this is basically a classification model, like Joshi explained. If you have based on age, sex, and then ticket fare, based on all this info, we're using classification models to figure out whether the person was male or female.
So maybe the company want to find out who's female and market them something based on their gender or something like that. If they find out you're female, on your screen you'll see all the female apps because they don't. If you're a male, you'll see all the dating apps. Who knows what they have in mind?
Right. So in dating apps also, this is for you.
When you open a website, how does they know that they have to show me an OkCupid as a man or some shopping of a purse or a sandal as a woman? So they want to predict whether I'm a man or a woman based on my data. If they can predict that and give me the right ad, that's a big victory for them.
And they're actually doing it in real time. This is happening. In the dating app, they take all your information and they match, the best male or female for you.
But even in advertisement, if I'm a company, I want to find out who is male and female so that I can post them according to the thing. If they did not give me the gender, if they give me the gender, then it's well and fine. If they did not give me the gender, I have to find out the gender. Then I'm going to use this model. And he's a gold medalist on this website. To be a gold medalist, you have to be rated up by senior people.
Yeah, you have to be rated up by 50 senior people who thinks it's a good, or it's a okay, or if they think it's a good one for other people to learn, then they vote for it, vote on your kernel, and then that's how you get rated up. So I'm still unranked. So here you could see there are lots of other competitions that you could be a part of once you get more experience. So in this one, and also they have prizes this one. It's active now. It says $100,000 for if you win the competition. So and it's just Google. They provide all this for people like us to get more involved in it and to learn from it.
But it's also a recruiting tool as well.
Yeah, obviously, because they're coming to New York City. They're tripling down their headquarters here in Chelsea. So, and also Amazon is coming. So there's going to be 25,000 more people from Amazon and then 20,000 more people from Google in coming 2 years. So and that's what they're trying to get more people involved in it.
Yeah, but keep in mind, that's a part of their business strategic plan.
Right.
By getting a local guy out there that's in the environment, they create that Facebook for techies. That's the Facebook for techies.
Right.
So basically what they do, they are looking at more progressive guys. For instance, who we can say within the New York arena, we have 500 data scientists that are excellent. Okay, they've been coding here, here's a body of work. In other words, instead of coming to you in a job interview and say, hey, show me a body of work right there in a job interview. This is something that's preparatory to that organization.
Right.
They already know your body of work. So instead of you applying to the job, they're going to apply to you. Because that's where the world of employment is going. People are not taking resumes anymore over the internet. They're looking at your body of work based on your website.
I would add 2 more points, very interesting points. If you put your resume in the market, you're going to get 200, 300 emails every day. So even if Google emails you, you won't be able to find out that Google wants you. Your phone is going to be jammed by all the recruiters, so you have to shut down your number. So Google cannot find you, Amazon cannot find you, because with all those emails, the email from Google that they want to have is going to get drowned. The recruiters are going to be the noise. So you have to write your own machine learning algorithm to read your email and find out if top 5 companies which you want to go actually email you or not. So you have to use Python programmatically using SMTP drivers, log into your account, read all your emails and find out if it's a job by Google or Amazon. And the same with phone. So you have to give your VoIP number, transcribe all those numbers, and then go through that. And they won't ask you any technical questions sometimes. They just ask you your visa status, this and that, and are you interested in the job, and you'll get an offer letter right away. Unless you are negotiating for a higher price. So you have to find out a high price so that you can keep cancelling some of the job offers.
But I feel this is a great recruitment tool by Google.
Yeah, it's a great resource for recruiters to see your work. Sorry, my bad.
Because it shows the body of work. So if you're interested in taking this class, you know, and this is your life, it would be in your best interest to establish an account and start working on minor project, because keep in mind, by the time you get onto this class and you're here and you're working on minor projects while you're in this class from that website, not only are you getting real world experience while you're doing classes, but you're also setting up your marketability, you know, and your branding. So it's in your best interest.
Niket is going to show what he has been doing. If he has something for you, you guys can add him on LinkedIn, anybody on LinkedIn, and see what we have been doing.
You can just search your name, otherwise you might have to log in. I can just, without the, I can just.
You have to go to users. You have to go to users. You can also follow him on GitHub. Most of the time we prefer to keep the projects on GitHub, but sometimes we get lazy. I want to upload so many things on GitHub.
So like when you're working in a company, so you need an environment to put the code. So this is GitHub. It's an open source, but there is GitLab, which the companies are using, because when you're working as a group of 5 or 10 or 20 people, you want the access of the project between all of them. And like if I am doing a part of the project, other guy is doing a part of the project. So this is the place where you can merge your project by sitting at your home. You don't have to call the person, you just have to push the project from your system to the computer, to the internet. And here in this website, this is github.com. For the companies, it will be gitlab.com, but now they have also made it private, so we can use this also in the company. Why is it like, why is it good? So this is also openly available to anyone. When you're making a resume, so you are going to make some projects, your personal projects, maybe other projects that you have done previously with any of the company, maybe financial projects, or maybe like if you are from the email marketing company, from there, anything, any place. So you can just put the link from there. Here, while a person is opening the project, they can see your complete work. Like I'll just show you this one. This I was working for a company. They wanted me to make a project so they can predict when a customer is going to leave their email marketing actually. So this company they sell books actually. So they just wanted to build me they wanted me to build a project we can do that thing. So you can see over here, it's not like clean data. When people were asked their gender, so some of them wrote male, someone wrote Emily, someone wrote M, someone wrote like I'm a queen. So you have to build a model which can actually take all of that data and actually tell whether it's a male or a female. Because for a computer, there is a male, there is a female, there may be a transgender, there may be some other thing, but there is no I'm a queen or I don't know, or like whatever. These are not the thing in there. So you have to build a model which can actually predict that thing also. So it's not like just in the end, just like the prediction, just like which customer is going to leave your company. It's everywhere, at every step. The machine learning is involved everywhere, every step. At the time of data cleaning, visualization, all the steps. I'll show you one more. This was my personal project. So I was working on a project from, on the data from NASA. So you know that NASA is finding the planets outside our solar system, right? So you have thousands and thousands of planets, right? Like over here, I had about 3,400 or 500 planets. Now NASA is not going. The guys in NASA, they are not going to sit over there and check whether this planet is going to have some chance or probability of life. So I made a model which can automatically detect by looking at all the variables like what is the planetary mass, what is the radius, how much it is distant from our sun. By looking at all these variables, it should be able to predict whether this particular planet will be having a chance of life or not. Apart from this, I'll tell you one more which was like really good. So there was a company, a new company. They were trying to build a model which can help a person find a house near to where they want to actually. So in Manhattan only. So I pulled this data, the data from over here. I pulled the data from New York Manhattan government. It's publicly available. So I built a project for them. So it is able to, like, if you are giving the area, the location that I want a room in Queens. So whichever is like the best according to the model, it can do it automatically. So these are something that you are going to do. This is an R. You can use Python. You can use anything. So you can see over here. This is an R, 100%. This is Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook can have R or Python or anything. This matter. Like on Kaggle also, if you go to the competitions, and if you are here, if you are more focused towards the financial thing or maybe the banks, so there are competitions like, I'll show you a good one. Santander Bank, they recently had a competition. Santander Bank, it's a Spanish bank. Okay. So they had a competition where they wanted to make a machine learning model which can actually predict from which customer it is going to have more credit risk credit risk. So there was like about $10,000 prize money for the first prize winner. So it was really good. So, yeah, this one. Oh, 60,000. Sorry. Then if you are in other things like you can have predict future sales, what you want to do. Then you have digital recognizer. Recently, I was doing one more thing which is like really cool. I'll just tell you that one. So if you are going to work in a cancer, if you are going to work in a medical industry, so they will be giving you some data which will be relevant to that. So this one over here, they usually give us the images of the cancer cells, or it can be anything. So you have to predict whether this particular image is having a cancer or a tumor or not. And if you find a cancer, it's okay, but you have to go further. You have to figure out what stage the cancer is in, which are the doctors whom you can contact, and how much it's going to cost you for maybe an operation or surgery or something like that. And then what might be the relevant treatment for you. So this is all which is happening right now, and which is going to be like something in the future, like really, really for everyone, everything. Everyone is going to know these things. People are making models which can automatically make these kind of models. Like right now, we have to make these models, but companies like Amazon, Google, they are actually making models which can do these kind of things, but it is really, really tough. That's why they need us right now. Hopefully, in the coming 7 to 8 years, it is not possible. It's not really possible for the AI agents to do it automatically. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that after that, they will be able to do it. Because like you guys know that there are already automatic cars on the market. Tesla is already having the automatic cars. So when the car is driving, it is collecting the information from its surrounding. It is sending the information to the Tesla server. Over there, the Tesla server, the AI in the Tesla server, it is crunching the information and it is making the prediction out of that. The car is able to drive automatically using the real-time predictions actually. So they are all the time connected to the Tesla servers every time. Apart from that, there is.
Yeah, this looks complicated, but it's my job to make it simple for you.
Actually, it's simple. Everything is simple, really simple. Like I can tell you that it's really simple. They look really complicated, these things, but they are really simple. This is HackerRank. When you're going to apply for a company, they are going to give you some questions, some coding assignments. So basically, they use HackerRank. HackerRank.
Oh, HackerRank.
So if you are able to complete like 2 or 3 of their assignments, then you can clear their rounds, their technical rounds. This is mainly their technical round in the hacker rank. I'll just show you.
Is that like casual?
No, that's not the casual. It's just totally coding and coding. So there are going to be questions. Any question can be there on Python, on R, on SQL, or whatever the language you're using. So it will be like really, really good. When we are going to do this thing, you can easily crack their technical rounds also. Because some companies have the normal HR rounds, then there are technical rounds, and there are face-to-face rounds. This is the stuff which can help you go through the technical rounds actually.
So thank you so much. This is similar to data camp, a lot of the infrastructure that is built up. Okay, guys, I am more or less done. If you have any question, let me know, and I thank you for attending. I'm here to talk about any other slide. You are welcome to check out my courses on Udemy. They were made in a haste, but they still work. For registration, you can talk to Sajid. The prep course is free, so you can register for that and see how you like to go on that. And we need a minimum batch size. We are targeting 4, but if it's less than 4, sometimes we generally start with, but we don't go beyond 8. The venue is the same class that we are sitting into, and the instructors are the one that you met today. And everything is inside. I don't like online option that much, but if somebody is traveling and cannot avoid, then we'll try to move into Zoom for those times. If you miss a class or something, we'll try to arrange a catch-up. That time we can use online class to do a catch-up. Otherwise, you can just come here and have a quick session back.
One more option, if you miss a class on site, you can always schedule a webinar with him.
Yeah.
Do it online from anywhere you want.
So we can do it online. And since we have many instructors, a part of it is taken by me, Niket, Hannah. So somebody would be available to do the catch-up class with you. Most of the time, the instructor who's teaching you will be available.
We're gonna end the session here. We're running out of time. So I'm giving out this enrollment form. You don't need to fill up the whole form for the free information session. Just I need the information on the first page and whatever you guys want to deposit for the information session. So the money you're gonna deposit, it's minimum 100, 200, whatever you pay. It's gonna be adjusted when you enroll with the full course. It's gonna be adjusted, or if you fail the exam, it's gonna be refunded to you back.
Or if you tomorrow come back and say, I don't want to go ahead with the prep course, the money will be given back.
But I insist, because I've done classes with him, he has done classes with him, we have few people who have done classes with him, and it's really fruitful. So we're getting it as low as possible. If you register today and sign the sheet up, your price rate for the whole course is gonna be 5,400, not 9,999. It's just today. I'm gonna hand out the form if you're interested.
Guys, I'm gonna give you a caveat on this. When you take it in the regular university, it's 3 credits per hour, which goes around $3,000. I know at the Roy Kelly Graduate School and at MIT, it's running around $3,000 per class. And within the whole data analytic session, and data management session, it goes around $20,000 for the certification. That's just for the certification. And I know people who got it through MIT. It's around 30. So 1/6 of the amount. Yeah.
And if you have not joined the meetup, we have all information updated on the meetup page. This is my free weekend class, like you can come and just talk about. It's here in the same venue. Sometime before I used to keep it on Whole Foods, the free project hour. And you can, if we have your email, we'll send you the flyer and information. People. It's just once.
You got a good idea about our instructors already. He's been speaking so long. He has patience. He has good patience. So you guys register with us, you'll be in good hands.
All right, guys.
Andre, you want to say anything?
Guys, I want to thank you for coming, showing up. You show that you guys are into what you're doing. So let's make this a great relationship. Moving forward, I know that you guys are professional people and you want the best out of your careers. This is just a drop in the bucket if you're a professional person. Because I know you guys are professional people, you know, you're looking out for your best interests. What I want you guys to do, though, on a serious note, is think about the possibilities and also think 5 years ahead from today. Because 5 years from now, the demand is going to get much higher. Therefore, the prices go up on these things as a new buyer. So think about what you're doing right now, because you're going to get it at a low price right now. And you also can always reach back to the instructor. The guy that's a mentorship in this process, which the regular universities are going to get to. But guys, thank you for coming. We appreciate your time. This is valued. Go ahead. I have a question.
If you have any
slides
questions.
that you showed us,
Yeah, it's also. Yes. Were you able to sign into the? Yeah, this is the filing. You have to go to the Slack channel, and it's the second last link. In the general.
The prep courses are listed on the
No, it's not listed. Sarge is taking care of it. So it's not posted. The prep course is not on the meetup. You have to contact him.
Yeah, the prep course, we build the prep course. We didn't put it up, we didn't commercialize it. We just introduced it.
It's only for people who want to
Is
sign
this
up.
something that we offer to the people who came tonight?
Yeah. So, yeah.
In other words, we want to give you a foundation
Yeah.
moving forward so that, hey, you know what's expected the baseline, because you know people fall in love with things, but they're not equipped to do
Anyone
it.
here interested for the Friday session? Friday, the prep class for bootcamp? Anyone interested in it?
Find out.
Huh?
Keep in mind that the Friday courses are free, guys. So you know exactly what you're getting into, you know, from an academic standpoint.
These are the concentrations we offer. Oh, okay, this is these are more concentrations. These are the ones that cover everything. 6 months, 2 skill level. So 6 months includes all items, so if you want this item, include this one. This item, this one is this. This includes. So they're all elaborated.
Thank you for attending. Now you know what this is about. Boris, thank you for attending the session. I hope to see you again.
So